At 68 years young, my mornings didn't start with gentle stretches or a peaceful cup of tea. Instead, they began with a formidable lineup of 5 different prescription medications. There was one for blood pressure, another for cholesterol, something to help me sleep, an acid reducer, and one more for nagging joint pain. This daily ritual had become my unwelcome normal. I dutifully swallowed each pill, hoping it was doing its job. Yet a part of me felt like I was just masking problems, not truly solving them. This routine felt less like self-care and more like a life sentence, a constant reminder that my body wasn't functioning as I wished it would, needing so much external help. Living with this pharmaceutical cocktail wasn't easy. The most pervasive issue was a constant draining fatigue. I felt like I was moving through my days in a thick fog, lacking the get-up-and-go I once had. Playing with my grandchildren, a joy I cherished, often left me exhausted far too quickly. Simple household chores felt like monumental tasks. Beyond the tiredness, there were other unwelcome guests. A persistent dry mouth, occasional dizziness that made me wary of sudden movements, and a general sense of just not feeling quite right. A feeling I struggled to articulate but knew deep down was a result of my medication load. The mental and emotional toll was perhaps even more significant than the physical side effects. My concentration suffered, and I often found myself struggling to recall names or details that used to come easily. This brain fog made me feel older than my years, and it chipped away at my confidence. I started to withdraw a little, avoiding situations where I might feel flustered or slow. There was also a quiet sadness, a feeling that my life was being dictated by pill schedules and doctor's appointments, rather than by my own desires and passions. I yearned for the vibrant, engaged person I used to be. The constant worry about these medications also weighed heavily on my mind. Did I remember to take them all? Were they interacting badly with each other? What if I missed a dose while traveling? Each new ache or pain brought the fear that it was another side effect, or worse, a new problem requiring yet another pill. It felt like a never-ending cycle of concern. The joy of simple things was often overshadowed by this undercurrent of medical anxiety. I knew, deep in my heart, that this wasn't the quality of life I wanted for my golden years. I deserved to feel better, more alive, and more in control. The turning point wasn't a dramatic single event, but rather a slow dawning, a growing unease that finally boiled over. I remember one particular afternoon watching my grandkids play tag in the park. I longed to join them, to chase them with a playful roar, but the thought of the exertion, the possible dizziness, held me back. I sat on the bench, a spectator in my own life. That moment crystallized my frustration. I realized I was missing out on precious moments, not because of my age, but because of how I was managing my health. I decided then and there that I needed to explore if there was another way to live, a way with fewer pills and more vitality. Of course, the idea of reducing my medication load was terrifying at first. These pills had been prescribed for specific reasons, and the thought of going without them brought a wave of what-ifs. What if my blood pressure skyrocketed? What if my cholesterol shot up? What if the pain returned with a vengeance? These fears were very real, and they made me hesitate. Society, and sometimes even well-meaning doctors, can make you feel like these medications are non-negotiable once you reach a certain age. It took courage to even consider challenging that narrative, to think I might be able to thrive with less pharmaceutical intervention. My journey towards change began with quiet research. I started reading articles about lifestyle modifications, about how diet and exercise could impact conditions like high blood pressure and cholesterol. I looked for stories of others who had successfully reduced their medication dependency. The more I read, the more a flicker of hope ignited within me. It wasn't about recklessly abandoning medical advice, but about becoming an active partner in my own healthcare. I learned about the power of whole foods, the benefits of consistent movement, and the importance of stress management, things I had perhaps neglected over the years, relying instead on the quick fix of a pill. The most crucial step was talking to my doctor. I was nervous, expecting resistance, but I armed myself with my research and a clear desire for a better quality of life. I explained my struggles, my fatigue, and my hope to reduce my reliance on so many drugs. To my relief, my doctor listened. While cautious, she was open to exploring options, provided we did it safely and methodically. We agreed that any changes would be gradual and carefully monitored. This collaborative approach was vital. I knew I couldn't and shouldn't do this alone. Her support transformed my fear into a more focused determination. Our plan began cautiously, targeting one medication at a time. My doctor emphasized that this was a marathon, not a sprint. We started with the medication I felt was causing the most bothersome side effects, the one for my sleep. She guided me on how to slowly taper the dosage rather than stopping abruptly to allow my body to adjust. This involved weekly check-ins, sometimes by phone, sometimes in person, to monitor for any adverse reactions or the re-emergence of the original problem. It was a slow, deliberate process, requiring patience and close observation of how my body was responding to each small change. Alongside the gradual medication reduction, I wholeheartedly embraced significant lifestyle changes. My kitchen underwent a transformation. Processed foods, sugary snacks, and excessive salt were out. Vibrant fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains were in. I discovered the joy of cooking fresh, healthy meals. Exercise became a non-negotiable part of my day. I started small, with a gentle 15-minute walk around my neighborhood. Gradually, I increased the duration and intensity, eventually joining a water aerobics class, which was kind to my joints but wonderfully invigorating. These changes weren't just tasks, they became new, enjoyable habits. The support I received from my family was an incredible source of strength. My daughter researched healthy recipes with me, and my son often joined me on my weekend walks. My grandchildren became my little cheerleaders, celebrating small victories like when I could walk further or had more energy to play. Their encouragement helped me stay motivated, especially on days when I felt a little doubtful or when a withdrawal symptom, like a temporary headache, made an appearance. Knowing I wasn't alone in this journey made all the difference. My friends too were supportive, with some even inspired to examine their own health habits. There were certainly emotional ups and downs. Some days, I felt a surge of optimism and energy, thrilled with my progress. Other days, a flicker of the old fear would return, or I'd miss the convenience of simply popping a pill. During the tapering process for one of my medications, I experienced a few restless nights, which temporarily disheartened me. But I learned to be kind to myself, to acknowledge these feelings without letting them derail my efforts. The small, consistent improvements, a clearer head, a little more stamina, a slightly better mood, served as powerful fuel to keep me moving forward on this new path. As weeks turned into months, the improvements in my health became undeniable. My energy levels soared. The persistent fog that had clouded my mind lifted, and I felt sharper and more alert than I had in years. My sleep improved naturally, without the need for medication. At my regular checkups, my doctor was pleased to see my blood pressure readings stabilize within a healthy range, and my cholesterol levels also showed significant improvement. It was incredibly validating to see these objective measures confirm what I was feeling subjectively. I was genuinely getting healthier, from the inside out. Each positive report spurred me on. This newfound health translated into a richer, more vibrant daily life. I rediscovered hobbies I had long abandoned, like gardening and painting. I had the stamina to play enthusiastically with my grandchildren, chasing them around the park without a second thought. My mood brightened considerably. I felt happier, more optimistic, and far more in control of my life. The simple joy of waking up feeling refreshed and ready for the day, rather than groggy and burdened, was a gift I cherished daily. I was no longer a spectator, but an active, joyful participant in my own existence. If you are over 60 and considering a similar change, my first piece of advice is to talk openly with your doctor. Never attempt to alter your medication regimen on your own. Share your goals and concerns, and work together to create a safe and sensible plan. Start small with lifestyle changes. Don't try to overhaul everything overnight. Perhaps begin with a short daily walk or by adding more vegetables to one meal a day. Be patient with yourself. There will be good days and challenging days, but consistency is key. Celebrate every small victory along the way. My journey has taught me that it's never too late to reclaim your health and vitality. Our bodies have an amazing capacity for healing and adaptation, especially when we provide them with the right conditions. Believe in yourself and your ability to make positive changes. Taking control of your health after 60 isn't just about adding years to your life, but adding life to your years. It's about embracing a new beginning, filled with energy, joy, and the profound satisfaction of knowing you actively chose a path to a healthier, happier you. You deserve to feel your best at any age,